Most Singaporeans think retirement is one single finish line. You either have enough or you don't. But that is not how it actually works here. The truth is, retirement in Singapore has levels, 6 of them. And the level you land on decides whether your final 20 or 30 years feel like freedom or feel like checking your CPF balance every single month with a knot in your stomach. I want to walk you through the 6 levels of wealth in retirement using real numbers from 2026. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which level you are tracking toward, and more importantly, what it actually takes to climb up. Let us start at the bottom. Level 1 is survival mode. And here is something most people outside Singapore do not realize. There is no universal age pension here. Unlike Australia, unlike many Western countries, Singapore never built a blanket government pension into the system. What exists instead is the Silver Support Scheme, and it is targeted only at lower income seniors with limited CPF savings. In 2026, the maximum quarterly payout under Silver Support is $1,080. That works out to $4,320 a year for those who qualify for the highest tier. Around 290,000 seniors receive this. Compare that to what researchers at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy found when they asked ordinary Singaporeans what a basic standard of living actually costs. Their answer? A single elderly person needs at least $1,492 every single month just to meet basic needs. That is close to $18,000 a year. Silver Support alone covers barely a quarter of that gap. Now stack CPF on top. If you only ever reached the basic retirement sum, which sits at $110,200 in 2026, your CPF Life payout is roughly $950 a month. Combine that with Silver Support, and you are still living meaningfully below what researchers call a basic, dignified standard of living. Every trip to the wet market becomes a calculation. Every aircon bill becomes a decision between comfort and next week's groceries. What makes level 1 so brutal is that there is almost no way out once you are in it. By your mid-60s, your earning years are behind you. Your body is not what it was 20 years ago. And the safety net here was designed to be exactly that, a safety net, not a full retirement income. This is not laziness. It is usually the result of decades spent paying off a mortgage, raising children, and never having enough left over to build a separate retirement engine. Level 2 is the modest retiree. This Singaporean owns their HDB flat outright. Their CPF retirement account sits somewhere between the basic retirement sum and the full retirement sum, so call it $110,000 to $220,000. They run a basic routine. Hawker food most days, the occasional family meal at a coffee shop, no overseas travel, definitely no new kitchen. Here is the part that should worry you if you are in your 50s right now. Official figures from the Ministry of Manpower show that roughly 7 in 10 Singaporeans who manage to hit the basic retirement sum actually go on to reach the full retirement sum. But that means 3 in 10 do not. And among the broader cohort turning 55, about a third have not set aside the full retirement sum at all, whether in cash or in cash plus property combined. If you are sitting at level 2 today, this is your wake-up call. The runway is shorter than it feels. There is one piece of good news at this level though. Many level 2 retirees are sitting on HDB flats that have appreciated dramatically, with median resale prices for 5-room flats now crossing $1,100,000 in towns like Toa Payoh. Downsizing to a smaller flat can unlock a genuinely large sum, and that equity can be redirected into your CPF retirement account to lift your monthly payout for life. Level 3 is the comfortable retiree. This is the Singaporean who hit the full retirement sum, $220,400, for the cohort turning 55 in 2026, and receives roughly $1,780 a month for life under the CPF Life standard plan. They can run a modest car, eat out a few times a month without flinching, and take a short regional trip once a year. This is what most Singaporeans picture when they imagine a normal, acceptable retirement. But here's what is wild. A meaningful share of Singaporeans never actually reach this point. The math is unforgiving. People spend their salary increases instead of redirecting a portion into their CPF or into investments outside it. They treat voluntary top-ups as optional, something for later, something for when they earn more.
And by the time later arrives, there are only a handful of working years left to close a gap that took decades to open. The hidden tax of level 3 is that comfortable does not mean stress-free. A serious health event, a stretch of unsubsidized home care for a parent, or one adult child needing financial help can quietly pull a level 3 retiree back down toward level 2. Comfortable in Singapore is a much thinner cushion than people assume. Level 4 is the self-funded retiree, and this is genuinely a different category of life. This is the Singaporean who topped up their CPF retirement account to the enhanced retirement sum, $440,800 in 2026, and is now drawing roughly $3,180 to $3,410 a month for life. No silver support needed. No anxiety about the next CPF statement. At this level, you are not budgeting for survival. You are budgeting for choice. A proper renovation instead of a patch job. Helping a grandchild with school fees without thinking twice. The mindset shift here is real. You stop thinking like someone waiting for the next payout and start thinking like someone who owns an income-producing asset. But even level 4 has a blind spot, and it is one that catches a lot of Singaporeans off guard. Long-term care. If you ever need a nursing home, unsubsidized costs in Singapore start around $3,900 a month and can exceed $5,000 a month for higher care categories. CareShield Life, the national long-term care insurance scheme, pays out roughly $689 a month in 2026 if you become severely disabled. That is meaningful support, but it does not come close to covering a private nursing home bill on its own. Level 4 retirees who never build a buffer for this scenario can watch their hard-earned comfort evaporate fast. Level 5 is financial independence. This is the Singaporean who has crossed into UBS's definition of a dollar millionaire and then some, typically with $2 million or more in combined CPF, property equity, and investments outside the CPF system. Often, this includes an investment property generating rental income, a portfolio of Singapore REITs paying steady distributions, and a meaningful supplementary retirement scheme balance drawn down tax efficiently. To put this in context, the average household net worth in Singapore now sits at $1,755,000, according to the Ministry of Finance's own 2026 analysis. But the median, the figure that represents the typical household rather than the average pulled upward by the very wealthy, is dramatically lower. At level 5, money genuinely stops being the daily question. The question becomes what you actually want to do with your time. Some keep working part-time because they enjoy it, not because they need the income. They travel business class, they help their children with a property down payment without it touching their own lifestyle in any way. Level 6 is generational wealth. We are talking $5 million or more in net assets, often well beyond. Singapore sits among the top wealth hubs in Asia, alongside Hong Kong, with hundreds of thousands of dollar millionaires and a fast-growing population of ultra-high net worth individuals. According to official Ministry of Finance data, the top 1% of households in Singapore hold roughly 14% of all household wealth in the country. That is the scale we are talking about at level 6. These Singaporeans are not just funding their own retirement, they are building structures that outlive them. Trusts, investment properties producing rental income across multiple units, REIT, and share portfolios designed to keep paying distributions for decades. A clear, tax-efficient plan to move wealth to children and grandchildren. At level 6, the family's trajectory genuinely changes. The next generation starts life ahead of where the current one started. That is the real definition of generational wealth. And here is the part that surprises most people. Most level 6 Singaporeans did not get there through one massive salary or one lucky stock pick. They got there by buying assets early, holding them through every property cooling measure, and every stock market scare, and consistently redirecting a percentage of every pay rise into CPF top-ups and investments before lifestyle crept in and ate it. Here is what almost every Singaporean figures out far too late. Climbing these levels is not about chasing a bigger bonus or finding the next hot stock tip from a colleague. It comes down to 3 habits repeated for decades. Starting before you feel ready, automating a real percentage of every paycheck into your CPF top-ups or your investment account before lifestyle creep eats it, and staying invested through every cooling measure, every market dip, and every loud headline telling you the sky is falling. The Singaporeans who reach level 4, 5, and 6 are not smarter than everyone else. They simply stopped interrupting the compounding. A 35-year-old who voluntarily tops up their CPF retirement account with an extra $200 a month beyond their compulsory contributions, earning the guaranteed 4% rate on special and retirement account balances, is looking at a meaningfully larger nest egg by 65, purely from decades of uninterrupted compounding. And if you are 45 and feel behind, do not switch off. The cash top-up relief lets you contribute up to $8,000 a year for yourself and another $8,000 for your family members, with real tax savings attached. Combined with consistent investing outside CPF, you can still close serious ground in your final 20 working years. If you are in your 40s or 50s and you feel behind, the worst thing you can do is treat that feeling as a verdict. It is not. Take the imperfect step now, because the perfect plan you're waiting for is not coming. So here's what you can do today. Log into your CPF account and check your actual retirement account balance. Compare it honestly against the basic, full, and enhanced retirement sums for 2026. Then ask yourself the honest question. At my current trajectory, which level am I retiring into? If this video helped you see things differently, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.